Hey, everybody, welcome to the episode of The Creators Outlet. Please subscribe, comment, and share, and join the crew over on Creators Outlet on YouTube. Just go to youtube.com/C/Creators Outlet. And of course, as usual, this is TVMA, STLB, and all those other NSFW freaking letters, just in case. And we're here with our old pal, Eric Von Tersch, with his brand new first time out of the barn comic book.
That's right there. I got to ask you, William, did you do the guitar or the drums on your intro?
I did neither. I didn't even do the intro.
How about the air guitar? There you go.
A little bit of that. But yeah, I didn't know how to do any of that stuff. And our friends from Still Talking with the Dead, a buddy of theirs, was like, "Oh, that's easy. You got a logo? Yep, here it is."
Nice.
Okay. 5 minutes later, here you go. I was like, "Holy shit!"
Like that, like a snap, huh?
Can you learn me? Can you learn me how to do that? And he's like, "Nope." He goes, "Why not?" He goes, "Because I don't think you can pay me in weed." I go, "Well, you're right. I can't."
Well, it's an honor to be on Creators Outlet with you, William. So thanks for having me, man.
So Eric and I go back a ways because I've been buying freaking comic books off this guy for forever on Facebook. He does live sales, and his dad gets in there. Pops likes to yell "Bazinga" a lot, so I always jump in, and instead of saying "hail," I type "Bazinga" in the chat.
Yeah, we get quite a few bazingas. That's right. Pops likes that one, and it keeps us both young.
Oh yeah. So I've known him for quite a while, and he's been talking about doing this book for a while. I signed up on the mailing list, what seems like 2 years ago, but was like just about a year ago now, and you're getting underway. So, but I want to know what first got you into comics.
Oh man, well, my dad had all the, ASM, hey, what's up, Pops, VZ. My dad had all the old Spider-Mans and Hulks, man, probably from about the early issues, and I would read them, ASM, like the first appearance of Kraven, the first appearance of Green Goblin, all those early issues, and he had all those. Unfortunately, he didn't have the AF-15, but he did have all those other issues, and I would read them. I'd read them over and over again, and that's how I learned to read. And growing up, it was just it was a lot of fun. I remember going to a store called Comics and Comics. They had a few stores out in the San Francisco Bay Area. And my dad used to write for Rolling Stone magazine, right? And so he's a record reviewer, big LP vinyl collector, and he'd go to the record stores up in San Francisco to take me with him. But I was always bored in the record store because, so he always promised to take me to the comic book store too. And I remember going to Comics and Comics several times and seeing that AF-15 on the wall and the ASM #1 on the wall, several copies, mind you, for $100 for the Amazing Spider-Man #1s and the $200 for the AF-15s when I was a kid. And they had several copies, and I remember that. That's one of my early. That's a pretty early memory for me. I was probably 5, 6, 7 years old. 5, 6 years old or something. And
now those books are around the 20K range.
Oh, you get
in poor condition.
Yeah, without 3 pages. Maybe a page is like 10K nowadays.
Yeah, right.
Almost. But yeah, that's how I learned how to read is through comic books. And yeah, man, it's a lifelong love,
Yeah. Pops got you hooked on comics so you would never do drugs.
Well, yeah, for the most part.
Yeah. Comic books are their own crack, because the hunt never ends. And I'm, except for indie books, I'm pretty much all done. I canceled like everything.
Yeah, the new Marvel and DC, it's tough to get into a little bit for me. It's I I'll put you this way, William. If I had the choice of like redoing everything, I would reboot right after Secret Wars, the original Secret Wars, and just go from there. I'd bring back, I'd bring in Venom and all that, but I would be like, that's where it started. I mean, sure, the '90s stuff was very, very cool. Don't get me wrong, but like the continuity was still in that vein where the characters meant something. They were still themselves.
Yeah.
And now it's like, man, you pick up an issue and every, new #1 issue all the time. So it's like, it's tough, man. And
yeah, they're not the characters that we fell in love with when we were, kids, or even like in our 20s or 30s. It's more like we're reading, a recent, adventure of a bunch of cosplayers dressing up as the characters at a convention or something, X-Men storyline, go to a dinner party. I'm like, get out of here.
Yeah, I mean, we read those books written by, people of a certain age, and then nowadays they're being written by a different generation, and they have their own take. And, what some of them don't realize is that it's going to hurt the sales, because the people, when me now, people my age and your age, man, we, well, not me or you probably, but some of us have the money, and we will buy the books. And, I remember stacks. I remember working in a comic book store, when I was in my early 20s, and people bring up stacks like, this high. And I think you still get that in comic shops, but not as much, because #1, the prices are higher. And #2 is like people lose, what the character's about. So I think indie comics is very strong. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love Marvel. I love watching the movies. I love the characters. And when they make a new good character, I dig that as well. But I just haven't seen a whole lot of great new characters, So independent comic books and people being able to get their own ideas out now is just is awesome. They're not they don't have to conform their ideas into a
it's not like, oh no, we don't want none of your ideas here at the House of Ideas. Here's the story. Just write the dialogue so it fits this. So it fits this narrative in the book, and that's it.
I mean, when you have one person in control of a universe, I think it's great. Actually, I think what Stan Lee did for all those years, I mean, he's obvious hero to many and myself. And yeah, I mean, I thought that's brilliant. I think when you have a universe and you need like kind of like one person or a group of people of like mind to kind of control that universe and say, okay, this is, and take ideas from other people, but say, hey, we got to keep things structured. And with all the structure, you have alternate universes and alternate timelines. And, some of that stuff gets old, I think,
Yeah.
It's like with Star Trek: The Next Generation. I love that show. Towards the end of the show, every other episode was a time episode where they had to go back or forward in time. It's like, you got a whole universe to explore.
Yeah.
Explore it.
We're afraid of the Borg. They're flying in a cube. How fast can they go? Oh, that fast. Never mind. I still, because it was the first series I saw, which was the original Star Trek. 'Cause it was, it was it had just come back into syndication when I was a little kid, because we're about the same age. So it came back into syndication for us both, like around the same time. Then we'd get it like on Saturday afternoons, and pretty soon it was on like 5 o'clock every day, like on on one of the affiliate stations. And we could get we could get almost an entire episode before our mother made us turn the TV off and go to the dinner table.
So the story with me and my mother is I hated the original Star Trek, to tell you the truth. I did not like it. I was a kid, but I liked the Brady Bunch, man. So me and my mom would kind of fight over the TV of who would watch. We'd either watch Brady Bunch for me or Star Trek for her. I thought Star Trek was so boring when I was a kid. I was just like, and it seems so, where they're going like this and all that. I enjoy it now, the campiness of it, and I love William Shatner. And I love all the who played Scotty, the original Scotty.
Oh, Jimmy Doohan.
Yeah, I love him, and all those cats.
He's gonna be a hero to a bunch of guys because, 89 years old, and he was having more children at 89.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Really?
Whoa, yeah.
Well, I remember his. He had some good stories, man. He was a little. They were all players, kind of, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It was, it was a great time. There was a 25th anniversary special at a convention. They ended up taping it and putting it on VHS and DVD. And it was Leonard Nimoy just regaling stories, pointing at William Shatner and goes, "This man is not a nice person." He goes, he would let the dog, he would unchain the studio security dogs, and I would go out trying to get to the commissary before him, and the dogs would chase me around. One day Shatner chained, because Leonard would bring a bicycle with him because he would have to sit in the chair for extra time to get the makeup touched up before he could go back. And William could just walk on set. It's like, rah, 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 rah. One day he chained his bicycle to a telephone pole. Another day he put it in the back. He put it in the back. William put Nimoy's bicycle in the back of his car, locked it up, and walked to the commissary. So by the time Leonard got off set, and he goes out, and his bike's locked in William's car, and William's got his dog in the car.
Nice.
It was all kind of funny stories like that, regaling write-ups in Variety, making fun of Spock's haircut, and it was just a lot of fun. And I know William appears regularly at the official original series set tour up in Ticonderoga, New York.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
They rebuilt the entire set, and it actually is a straight walkthrough as it would have been on the actual ship itself.
Oh, very cool. Yeah.
So every once in a while, William's there, and if you get a chance to go up, you get a tour of the Starship Enterprise from Captain Kirk.
Oh, that'd be very nice.
And he tells you all kinds of stories from the set and everything. It's pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw him once at a convention, and yeah, he puts on a good show. I'm sure it's kind of same stuff all over, all the time. But he's funny, man. You see him once, and okay, I'm good. I'm never paying that much for tickets again, and you're on your way. I'd rather go and do something like that, where it's more meaningful, and you get more interaction, because they only do small groups of 20. Than it is, Oh yeah.
Going in the line to the con, and 30 seconds, shake a hand, take a picture, on your way. There goes $500.
Yeah.
I'm like, I have no need to give my money to millionaires. I'd rather give it to the comic book creators that created all the stuff that we can't get away from. Before, we couldn't get it on TV, and now we can't get away from it on TV. So,
yeah. I mean, I can't believe the price of some of these cats are charging, man. I mean, it's ridiculous. I'm like, why you shouldn't be Captain America. You shouldn't be able to call yourself Captain America and then charge some, working blue collar guy like
$700 to $1,000 for your autograph.
Yeah, I mean those combo packages are in the thousands of dollars.
Yeah, it's like, look, these are all the people that spent the money to make it so you could actually be rolling in dough right now. You're getting that Disney money.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And I'd much rather have, I mean, people like Jim Shooter still signed for free. I mean, it's, people like Ron Lim signed for, $5, I think, maybe $10 now. It'll probably I think after COVID, a lot of artists will start charging a little bit more.
And of course, we all know Neil charges at least $50.
Oh yeah.
And Lou Ferrigno charges you more if you bring an item from home that you want signed, opposed to buying something from him.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I heard that story from somebody that I had on. They're like, goes, yeah, I brought this thing that I've had since I was a kid, and it was from the show, and I asked him to sign it. And if you buy something off his table, he'll sign it for $25. He goes, but I brought an item from home, and he upcharged me $80 to sign it.
What? Oh,
and I'm
goodness.
like, well, the first thing I would have said besides no would have been, hello, eBay.
Yeah. Let's see how much this is on eBay.
Before I got out of there, I would have been putting it up on Facebook for sale.
Yeah, I saw Lou Ferrigno at a lot of. I mean, he does the convention scene. I mean, back when conventions were going hardcore, before COVID hit, man, I'd see him a lot. And a lot of times, man, a lot of these cats don't, they charge so much. Lou Ferrigno's pretty big name, but I mean, what's he got other than Hulk and what else, right?
He was. I mean, I had a lot of people tell me he was a super nice guy.
If you're paying him, that's what I heard. If
you're paying him, but like prior to him getting the cameos in all the MCU movies, he was like really down to earth. Whether you were paying him or not, he was a nice guy. He was shaking everybody's hand, posing for pictures, and signing stuff, and not being ridiculously overpriced about it. He had like pretty good prices and stuff, and I'm like, he goes, that's too bad, because I got a Marv V that just finished funding the Sin Killer. I got a piece of original art that's going to be coming from him. And this guy's all the way in Portugal. He drew this amazing double head facing opposite directions. Bill Bixby on this side, Lou Ferrigno is the Hulk on this side.
Awesome.
And I told him, I go, dude, if nobody picks that as a prize in your art giveaway before the end, I'm going to buy that off you.
Nice. Yeah.
He's like,
that would be great.
Shows, so.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I mean, I think, it'd be an honor to have, anybody want you to sign their book. It's kind of crazy to me, but
yeah,
I mean, it's.
I eventually want to be on the cover of a comic just so I can, sign it.
There you go.
I'll sign it. I'll, get it on there, order 20 copies, and I'll sign it and send it out. This is not my book. I did not write it. I did not draw art in it. But that is the rendition of me on the cover.
You gotta make the Pace alternate cover, man. I mean,
Yeah, I know. I was tempted on Ryland Grant's last one. I know Brian from Cheers to Comics got it. You pay a certain amount, and you end up getting like 2 or 3 copies of the book.
Mm-hmm.
And 2 of the covers, you get like a regular cover, you get like an A cover, and then you get 2 copies of the cover that you paid to be on. And he paid to have himself and his girlfriend or wife on the cover together as Doc Brown and Marty McFly from on a homage to Back to the Future. I'm like, that's cool.
Very nice.
Very nice. different things like that. Speaking of different things, you got a whole bunch of different things going on in your campaign.
Yeah, I I had extra, during COVID, I had extra time, and I kind of went crazy with all the different things. So, yeah, there's a lot of different things you can get.
And this is a different kind of book too, because it's kind of an anthology, because there's like 4 different stories going on, and they start out as short stories, and you're looking at spreading them out once you get underway and going.
Yes. So originally, I just wanted to do this really, really cheap and like just get it out there, because that's always been my dream. Get some of my ideas out there, and these are 4 of my better ideas, I think. And it took on a life of its own, kind of. I wanted it to be better and all that, but it costs a lot of money to. I write, I create, I draw concepts, but I can't draw. I can't draw a comic book. I can't do sequentials. So, I have to pay artists, and so it gets a little expensive. So I was just like, I'm just gonna get this out, 4 4-page stories to start with, and then if we can get the funding going through the crowdfund, we can expand it for 8-page stories. So it is an anthology, and it's the beginnings of these stories, universes, and I think I think each one really gives really the good little taste flavor of what everything's going to be about eventually. I will say that a couple, probably, especially 2 of the stories, fortunately one did get expanded to 8 pages, so now we're at 20 pages.
Nice.
Void Reaper got expanded, and that's one of the ones that I really wanted to be expanded, because the next 4 pages just kind of like sets up the whole stage. It's just really kind of cool. I think there's a really nice reveal.
Is Void is that the superhero with the funky cape?
No, Void Reaper is the couple. The couple right there.
Oh, let me blow you up so I can see this.
Yeah.
There we go.
Sorry, this is my proof copy for number 00. So it's the couple right here, and this is the Void Reaper spaceship. And this is kind of like Star Wars meets Dark Crystal meets Neverending Story. And the Void Reaper ship it's originally called the Reaper ship, but something happens. It's added on to become the Void Reaper and be able to enter a void that's taking over the entire universe to see what's on the other side. And the couple is very much kind of like a Han Solo. I know, it doesn't sound right to Star Wars fans, but it's kind of like Han Solo, Mara Jade, even though Mara Jade was with Luke, and obviously Han Solo was with Leia. But they're kind of like that type of style, and so it's very Star Wars-esque. Throw in those other 2 concepts a little bit, Dark Crystal, Neverending Story a little bit, and also the whole, as I told you before, the whole concept when I first started writing this was every 4 pages, man, I'm gonna make something major happen. Someone's head's gonna explode, or something's gonna be revealed, or you're not gonna have to wait around very long for something major to happen. So that was my whole concept of pacing. I was like, I'm not going to worry about pacing on this comic book when I write it. F pacing, right? I'm just gonna kick your ass and keep kicking it with it. Mm-hmm. So that's the whole thing about that. And fortunately, we did get the extra 8 pages. So there's 2 big kind of like cool things that happens in this story that you'll get. So yeah, hopefully the other stories will be expanded upon. I'm not sure if it'll happen, but I'm very happy that we got that one expanded on. I think Wine might get expanded on. That's the kind of like the Star Trek, Dungeons and Dragons, and Godfather type story. Mostly kind of like Star Trek Next Generation, but definitely with those medieval fantasy overtones as well.
Yeah, I was kind of digging the Joan of Arc and the different Batman-esque kind of character. I thought I thought the cape was like a very interesting idea and something different.
Yeah, I came up with my first drawing I did of Nightcry was when I was like 19 or something. It's just like I was just like making like I want a Batman / Spawn type character, and I was just like I want it to be different though, so I decided to do these strips of cape. And as his progression happened, I decided each strip of cape has a different. It's like a utility belt for Batman. Mm-hmm. It's a smart cape with power, not powers, but like with abilities for each strip of cape. One strip can, freeze you. One strip is might shoot out drones. One strip might, very small drones. One strip might turn him invisible. Might turn something else invisible. So, and he all controls it kind of like a smart, it's a smart cape, kind of controlled like the modern MCU Iron Man armor, where it's all controlled by his mind. And the other things that make Nightcry different, his name's Nightcry, and what makes him different is that he's not a loner like the Dark Knight. He's a family man. He has a wife and 2 kids, so he's got something else to think about there. And also, he's not the world's greatest detective. He's the world's most renowned psychologist. And so part of what his whole thing is about is trying to rehabilitate villains to maybe even become superheroes. So we go through that whole, eventually if this is expanded upon, we'll see a lot of psychological stuff going on, a lot of craziness going on. There's some crazy bad guys I got in store for him if it ever gets rolling.
You wanna share the campaign so we can take a look and go through everything?
Oh, sure. Give me a second. I was not quite ready to do that, but give me a second.
It's all right. Well, Eric grabs that. We're going to take a look at the MAVRICS Origins Volume 1 trailer.
War is a topic of vital importance, a subject of inquiry that cannot be ignored. It is a matter of life and death. It can be a road to safety or to ruin.
In an alternate version of our world, brought to the brink of total collapse, rival nations fight for global domination, and elite pilots in futuristic combat suits wage war on the battlefield of tomorrow. Now, 6 brave soldiers on a seemingly routine rescue mission will encounter more than they bargained for and uncover a dangerous secret that could change their world if they live long enough to see it. MAVRICS Origins Volume 1.
Now on Indiegogo.
Boom. There we go.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, they just hit 14K, unlocked the challenge coin. I know we were talking about it earlier, and you said next time around, one of the guys that owns one of the IPs in the book does metal work, and you're looking at doing a challenge coin for the next crowdfunder.
Oh yeah, one of his concepts. So it's there's a war, old space war that takes place, and there's on the planet there's all these different relics and coins and stuff. So he wants to manufacture some of those and put it in the campaign, hopefully. So that'll be fun to look forward to, hopefully.
That'd be cool.
But this is Amazing Eyes Comics #1. So we're gonna try. My main thing here, William, man, is I want to. the backers. I'm thankful for each and every backer, and I am going to do my very best to get the people what they order in a nice way, and really fulfill this campaign first. I want to set a track record, so it all starts with this one. Track record of fulfilling the campaign properly, and so everyone gets what they. A lot of times, sometimes there's a little trouble with that, from what I hear.
Yeah, I had one guy who I actually had on the show, and I thought he was a great guy and some great concepts, and it was a comic book company, Mana Comics out of Hawaii, and I was excited to read this book because the book that he put up on crowdfund was basically setting up his entire universe, even though he had been running stories, but he was holding off on the origin story. So this was the origin story. He shipped it to me in a bag and a board.
Oh, man.
He put the book in a bag and a board, and then put that inside a paper priority envelope and shipped it off.
Oh, wow.
Not even, at least, cut a couple pieces of cardboard and, use some of the blue painter's tape to secure it, and tape it around and put it in. I go, and I don't even like I don't even really like getting them like that. I like getting them, either packed, securely in a box with, either peanuts or paper like stuffed in, so they're nice and secure. Or in a Gemini. I love getting Geminis, and I'm like, how are you fulfilling his campaign was like $27K.
Wow.
I'm like, are you sending everybody just dropping a book in a priority envelope and shipping it off?
Yeah, that's
he charged $15 for shipping.
You're kidding.
He put a single comic in a priority paper envelope and zipped it off. I'm like, ooh. The top corner was bent, but it wasn't creased. It was kind of just like curved a little bit.
Wow.
And I'm surprised that's the only damage that was done. But it turned me off so much that I don't even want to read the book. And I flipped through it, and it's a beautiful book. The colors are amazing on it and everything. But I'm like,
that's what some creators don't get, though, is that that the shipping, what people actually get is gonna be remembered, and how they get it. And that's why anything that's if you order multiple books from my campaign, it will come in a Gemini, and that Gemini will be in a legal size priority envelope. So that's and as you know, I've been doing shipping comics for over 5 years now, and I've never actually, I don't know how, because the USPS, and I knock on wood, because I've never had one come back. So you don't have to worry about that. So that's my main thing, is I want to fulfill this, get a great track record going,
Well, I can tell everybody that this guy knows how to pack, unless it's Pops doing all the packing, then Pops knows how to pack.
Pops likes to run down to the post office once in a while for me.
He likes to go down the post office just to see the look of shock on their face.
Yeah.
Oh, man, how many this week? I've been buying books off of Eric, like on and off for, I'd say, like that the whole 5 years you've been doing it. I think I came across one of your sales streams not too long after I got out of the hospital, and I started buying back issues again, something here, something there that caught my eye. And, it's always, super packed, it's always done very well, nice and tight. Doesn't, uses the right amount of tape. I've gotten a few that, they've mummified the package in packing tape. That's a pain in the butt, because I'm like, I'm not a surgeon. I don't know how to do this. I don't have an X-Acto knife. I have
Yeah,
like a kitchen
sometimes it's
knife.
like, how do I unpack this? Like, and then you end up with tape all over yourself, and sometimes on your, bag and board, and it gets kind of crazy. But yeah, I hear what you're saying.
Yeah.
So I wrote on the campaign here just some brief synopsises of each of the 4 stories, and I do have a plan that I'll show you later. But so yeah, Joan of Arc, the Black Plague mutates, right? And Joan is saved from being burned alive at the stake. Of course, Joan of Arc is a real life historical person who was supposedly called upon God to fight the English and bring France to prominence in medieval Europe. And she lived about 75, 85 years after Black Plague. So it kind of fits the whole what if. I'm calling it a what if story, right?
Mm-hmm.
Type story where zombies come out. So it's got a lot of political intrigue as well. And of course, lots of zombie action, and I will say hint at undead action as well. And we also use the real people that she fought alongside with, which are some crazy cats in and of themselves. If I researched them, we use her real life executioner, who was named his name was on the executioner's list for her. And his name was spelled Therage. So take some liberties, and Joan is going to call him the Rage of God. So they team up, and she has the zombie head on her. Give me 1 second. Not used to going back and forth here. On her hilt there, you can see that, and that's kind of used because in medieval Europe, not everyone's in every village is going to believe that there's zombies and stuff. So that's a real life zombie head, and so she can prove that there is an apocalypse taking place. And I thought it was kind of a fun thing to throw on her. We talked about Nightcry already, so yeah, that's there, and Void Reaper as well. There's a couple, and it's about the starship being, the universe's only chance at survival, and can their love in the spaceship save the universe, and can it save their family and themselves? And Wine is, hey, it's about this space wizard who owns a space station, Ye Old Wineport, which is the most popular destination in the known universe. This book is going to be filled with intrigue, magic, gambling, family fun, unscrupulous types, the finest service, lust, love, and of course, wine. And like I said, it's a lot like Star Trek, and I'll show you a few of the characters a little later on really quickly. This is our alternate cover of Nightcry, done by Dave Farrar of Geek Fine Art, a fantastic local artist to me. And yeah, he did his take on Nightcry. So you see, so I said earlier that his costume is kind of a smart costume. He can use his psychological awareness and advantages to change how the costume looks for different villains he fights as well. If he feels that someone might not like, I don't know, say, I shouldn't say bats. Let's say rats. He can, turn it into something that looks like a rat. But if someone is afraid of the light, he can turn his costume into a white costume. So he can change it at will. So the costume has a lot of liberties as well as how we can show it. But the strips of cape are like the standard part that will always be there, because it's what makes him Nightcry, and the character, one of the main things that makes him unique.
It's an interesting take.
Thank you. And then I just do go through some of the perks there, and down here's the stretch goals. That's the other thing. So this is in black and white, okay? Because doing it in color costs money. So I was hoping we might get to 1700 to do, and if we get to 1700, we could do the first story in color, and then each level there, every $500 after that gets another color story. So hopefully we could hit 32 full color pages, but we'll see how it goes. Right now we're at 20 black and white pages. But I have hopes for adding 4 more pages and maybe hopefully getting at least one story in color.
Yeah.
And hopefully I don't get in trouble for having Kyra, who's the blue alien there, saying, make sure I stay blue. Hopefully that's allowed these days. Pops had this idea to do, now he's a poet. He's a published poet, and of course he wrote for Rolling Stone magazine. So we can have these amazing nice blank covers done, and he had this idea of doing these poems for the book on the blank covers with some little bit of artwork as well, where he it's in Grove's perspective. Grove is the space wizard who owns Ye Olde Wineport in wine. So from his perspective, Pops VT will write a poem and do some drawings on the blank cover for you. And it says only $25, but right now we have a special on for over 50% off. You could add that on to your perk for only $12. So,
Cool.
Yeah, that's kind of fun and really kind of a unique thing. And like I said, he's a published poet, wrote for Rolling Stone magazine. You can look him up. His name is Gary Von Tersch. And of course, Dave Farrar, who did the Nightcry variant, you can get a sketch cover done by him for $35. There's my little shipping spiel right there, using Gemini Comic Supply mailers, over 5 years experience. Here's my creative team. Here's the creative team, Gabriel Bomfin, who did the Nightcry pencils and inks and developed the amazing nice logo.
Nice.
And he's from Brazil. Dave Farrar of Geek Fine Art, who did the Nightcry variant art, cover. And Victor Lighty, who did the cover A, I guess you call it, the main cover, and did the wine pencils, inks, and colors. And Roel Roque, who did Joan of Arc vs. Undead and the Void Reaper pencils and inks. And I just contacted him, and he said he will have the extra 4 pages that got added on for Void Reaper done no later than September, I think the 3rd week in September. So
Oh, cool.
So we're going to be able to, get that quick, hopefully. I think he's going to actually have it done in a week because he's pretty good and he's really quick. I do have a timeline, William. So it's just not like one book and I'm just going to like throw it away, right? No. We got Amazing Eyes #1, and then the surprise project, like I told you, I did get it confirmed that we will have, it's going to be called Moonchild, and it's an IP from someone who lives on the East Coast who had me write this. He had me write the #1 issue like years ago, like 5 years ago, and he was good. We had a great artist doing the artwork, but unfortunately, he had some problems and couldn't fulfill, and it kind of got set to the got set aside for a while, and then he wanted to. This gentleman who owns the IP, he wanted to revive the project, but he wanted to come out with a issue #0 first. So I wrote issue 0 based off of idea he had, and we had the art done by another gentleman, and all of the art is done already. The pencils and inks anyway. And we're still deciding if we're going to be able to have it colored beforehand, or if we might need to see how the campaign does to have it colored. But this is the surprise project. It's called Moonchild, and it's it's another kind of space story, and but it has Native American themes along with it's a lot of fun. There's alien themes, and it's really cool story, man. I love the issue 0. It sets it up well, and I love the issue 1 even more. So I really want this to do well, and it's Moonchild, and he will be able to promote it as well. So hopefully it'll do really well. That's a surprise project that I'm hoping to launch, 1/1/22, right? And then after that, we're going to take the most popular story, or maybe 2 stories from Amazing Eyes #1, and do another campaign just for those in either a comic book or maybe hopefully a graphic novel format. So it's a full complete story. Mm-hmm. So it's not just like the anthology and you're getting like, oh, the first appearance. And, it's kind of like, okay, we're setting things up and it's cool, but we want more. Well, this one, you're going to get more, right? This is the one where it's like, you get the full bite, right? The full meal, 7 courses, right? Then I got something called Dragon Causes, which is one of my babies. It's awesome story. It's medieval fantasy with a really unique main character, and then I want to go into the superhero universe. So, yeah, man, that's we get into character bios, but do you have any questions, or you want to talk about anything else really quick, or?
So you've got 3 other projects lined up after this already.
I definitely have that one ready to roll pretty much, right? I mean, I still have to, come up with the campaign and everything, but
yeah. Moon's all set. It's already in the can.
Yeah.
So if you guys decided to roll it out as a black and white, it's all set.
It's done.
It's all set to go, and you can just send the print file off to the printer.
Correct.
As soon as that funds.
Correct. The only thing we might do is I did some. That was one of my first lettering attempts, so we probably have it lettered.
Yeah, I do that too.
I lettered Amazing Eyes #1, and I think I did a really good job. I haven't shown too much of it yet, but I think it's I didn't use Comic Sans, and I did. I stayed away.
I'll let you know when I get my copy.
Yeah. You do that. Yeah, be honest with me, man. Yeah, I did have actually 2 people look at it, and they were like, "Do you want to? How much do you charge?" I was just like, "I don't charge anything because I don't really letter. I just, I'm trying to keep it on the cheap." So they liked it a little bit. So
cool. So we got 4 stories, 2 at 8 pages a piece, 2 at 4, and if the right people jump in and hit that mark, then the book will double. Because
correct. Now, how we get there is, I know it's a little crazy for some people, but it's called the True Amazingizer pack here. And let's look at that. It's $250, but you get to also be in the comic book story. So we extend the story and you get to be in that extension. Okay. Or, a loved one or whatever, or 2 of you, if you want to do a couple or whatever. And then you're kind of like everyone's hero because you add 4 pages of story. You also get the regular cover, you get the Night Cry, you get 5 prints, you get 2 buttons or pins, you get Amazing Eyes 0, which is limited to 100 copies, and you get the Pops VT Trippin' variant, which is limited to 10 copies. And that's artwork that he's doing. He's also done artwork. He used to do these drawings and do the color selections, and my mom would do these stained glass, and they would sell for like close to like $1,000 a piece. They're really awesome. But my mom quit doing the stained glass because the lead poisoning and stuff kind of was funky back in the 80s. Mm-hmm. So, but yeah, Pops is very artistic, but he has to partake a little bit, and then he does some trippinized stuff for you. So that's limited to 10 copies. So I think it's decent. It's $250. I know that's up there for some people, and but get to be in the story. You get to add 4 pages of story. You get credited for that and all that, and get a lot of fun stuff. So,
yeah, you get to add an extra 4 pages to a 4-page story, plus you get to appear in the story. So
true, yeah, and I've seen some campaigns where it's like, $200 just to be in the story. So I think that's a decent deal.
I've seen some of them where it's like, $750 to $1,000 to.
I think that's. Yeah, I think those are kind of bigger campaigns, right?
Yeah.
Well, the first timers.
Yeah. Well, I did see a first time that funded like like the last day, it like overfunded by a bunch, and he was charging $750 to appear, but the first arc was 6 issues, so your character will be appearing through as a continuing story. Even if your character got killed, they would still go back and refer to you.
Gotcha.
Remember the VT murder? Jesus.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I have something kind of like that. It's create a future character pack that's $750, and basically you enable us. You get like 20 plus copies of the book, but you also enable us to have a good chance to do a graphic novel for the story that you pick, and really develop characters that could have their own book, even. So I know that's probably not going to get a bid. It's $750, so that's expensive. But I did have one person I think that was interested, but they haven't done it yet. So this is kind of like the most popular pack so far, Amazingizer pack. And that's $40, but you get number 00, which is limited to 100 copies. So that's been our most popular pack.
Yeah, everybody's going to go after the 1 in 100 variant there.
Yeah, and we got 1 out of 5 claimed to Pop's Bazinga, so that's cool. And it's limited 10, so you can only get that in this pack, the Bazinga pack, or the True Amazingizer pack, or the Pop's VT Amazing Bazinga pack. This one's kind of cool, William, because you're also gonna get a Pop's VT, man, his archives, his deep archives, where we don't sell out of normally with our comic book show.
Mm-hmm.
He's gonna go in there, pick a Silver Age book or 2 for you. He's gonna go into his vinyl collection of, he's got tens of thousands of albums, find some cool vinyl, probably comic book related, actually, like one of those cool old 70s Marvel records or something like that. And so that stuff will be included in the Amazing Bazinga pack. And you're going to get the original artwork for the Trippinized variant, and you will also get all the stuff, man. I didn't realize it, but when I saw what my dad was doing to try to make this variant cover, this artwork, he had all these sketches, he had all these notes, these pens, and all this different stuff. So you get all that stuff, man, whether you want it or not. But it's I think it's kind of fun.
And get one of those Hallmark cards that you can record a voice onto. So as soon as you open up the card, it's Pops yelling Bazinga.
Bazinga! You got a personalized Bazinga too. Let's do that. We'll throw that on. Yeah, man. So it's an honor just to have one backer. And I'm just like I said, I just want to get these ideas out there, man. It's a dream come true, and I have a plan, and I'm gonna do my best I'm going to do my very best. You will get your product, man. It's going to be fulfilled, and I'm going to, keep growing it. And, I think it's a decent first go around so far, man.
Yeah. You got a lot of cool ideas. I always loved history and different twists that you might see in various movies or TV shows on it. You know what's funny, William? I just my wife and I took the kids to go see that the guy Ryan Reynolds is in the Good Guy movie. Yep.
Okay, so there was a preview. There's like 10 previews, but there was a preview for a movie, and I forget the name of the movie, but it was medieval. And at first, it was like it showed like a woman, and I think she was like gonna be burned at the stake or something. I thought it was a new Joan of Arc movie, so I was kind of excited, but it wasn't. It was a movie with Adam Driver and what was it called? I forget what it's called, but it's based on some true story, but it wasn't Joan of Arc. So, but at first I was like, oh, sweet, a new Joan of Arc movie, and I can that's kind of fun. I always had a fascination with Joan of Arc. I always thought her real life story is like a comic book in and of itself.
Yeah. But I always like the twists and turns,
mm-hmm.
That a movie will take with it, and I always find it interesting.
Yeah,
You know, and I can always tell if somebody just read the Cliff Notes or if they actually read the real books on it.
Yeah, man. I mean, I would never try to do a zombie book, I don't think, because I don't think you could, beat The Walking Dead. Even though I fell asleep last night trying to watch the first episode of the new season, because I'm just like, really, this is kind of boring. But I love Walking Dead, and you can't do better than Walking Dead and George Romero and what Robert Kirkman has done in the comics, I don't think. So I would never try to do a zombie book, zombie apocalypse current times. So I was like, you know what? I always have fascinated with Joan of Arc, but I don't really want to write a comic book about Joan of Arc. But then I had this idea a few years ago. I was like, shit, let's put zombies up against her. And God calls upon her to fight the zombie apocalypse. And then I looked up the Black Plague, and when that took place, it was like, there.
Yeah, 2020.
Yeah, and then you got the new Black Plague, right?
Yeah.
So I really love the idea, the concept. I'm telling you, man, if Joan of Arc became like a regular series or graphic novel or something, I'm taking this places that you won't even know. It goes beyond what I'm just talking about here, man. I mean, there's other characters that lived in the same time frame that are notorious. Let's just say.
Oh, quite so. And what are you sitting on for backers, and how far have you gone in the goal?
Well, we are at 16 backers, which is 70% of our initial goal of $1,200. So we're at $841, $841, and we had a good first couple days, and like I said, this is my first time doing it, so I was just like, I don't know how it's going to go. I don't know if I'm going to get like 100 or 2 or like 1,000 or like a few thousand or what. So I was really excited after the first few days, and then I hit a point where it's like about a week where it was really kind of dead for a while, and then I was on another show. Gosh, I forget the gentleman's name. I think JD Calderon. I'm not sure if you're familiar with him.
Oh, yeah, I know JD, yeah.
Yeah, I was on JD's show and picked up a couple backers there. And then a couple days ago, I picked up 2 more backers. And yeah, man, so I'm happy with it. And I'm hoping like the end run, the campaign ends after Labor Day weekend. Mm-hmm. So like Monday, Labor Day is going to be the end of it. So I'm hoping we'll have a good ending, and I still have a couple cats out there that I think are interested in some of the bigger, like the True Amazingizer pack, and which would extend another 4 pages, and even someone who's interested in create your own character, but. Yeah, I just got to see if that happens or not. So if that happens, then we'll be getting into some of our stretch goals, which colorizes 1 or more stories.
Well, that'll be cool. So I'm up on the page right now looking.
Yes, sir.
You're only 30% away from goal.
Yeah.
So you gotta keep in mind that the last week, like the last few days, will usually pick up, because that's when that's when your Kickstarters and Indiegogo send out their letter, the reminder letter. You were interested in this, and you're following this, or you signed up on the mailing list, and you haven't bid yet. You haven't backed this. You haven't backed a pledge yet, and this is going to be gone next. In the next 3 days. This is the last 72 hours. Blah blah. And people will be like, "Oh, I forgot about that," and you'll start seeing click, 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 click.
Ooh, very cool. I'm looking forward to that.
So, I know, right?
I tell you, first day I was excited. I saw it like within the first few minutes. I was just like, I think we had the first one we had was the $250 one, and then we had like a few of the 40. Like we had like about $400, like $300 the first day, pretty quick. So I was just like, I was a little excited there for a minute, and then and then it got up to like it's been good. We just had that one lull of about a week, kind of, where it was not getting the clicks. But yeah, I'm looking forward to the last weekend, last week, and promoting it more. I think I need to figure out a better way to promote, and I need to be on like things like Instagram more and Twitter, but I'm just not good at that stuff yet, man.
Twitter is big for is very big for getting a project backed.
Yes, I know. I've had a little bit of luck getting seen by a little bit, but I haven't seen much results from Twitter. I've had some people share my tweets about it and stuff, but yeah.
Well, the other thing too is they're also going to be looking, to see your presence on Twitter. Be like, and a lot of people get a little antsy. They're like, I'm not sure I want to jump on this because he's a first-time creator.
Yeah. That's why I think that, fulfilling this, getting some people to maybe, do a couple unboxings, and just getting that one first campaign down and, successful and fulfilled quickly will be huge going forward. I think, if you double what you do, 1,000 turns into 2,000, turns into 4,000, turns into 8, then you're getting to 5 figures maybe in, a year and a half or 2, whatever. I know my schedule is pretty ambitious that I put out. I will admit that the scheduling I have here is a bit ambitious, but I'm almost 50, so I gotta be ambitious.
I gotta hurry up and get this shit done.
Yeah, I gotta get it out, man.
I gotta get.
I wish they had crowdfunding when I was 20, man. I'd be like freaking.
It's like I gotta get this. I gotta get this done before I'm taking off the role of my dad and my kids are running the show.
That's right. I'm all like beat pops. Bazinga! Yeah, if anybody's watching, I do sell comic books live on Facebook, and that's a lot of fun. And like I said, I love indie books. I love new ideas, exciting ideas, great artwork, and I'm you find some of that stuff now more, and cohesive stories that are you don't have to wait for, you don't have a book from Marvel or DC, and even if you get into a new book and then all of a sudden it changes again, there's a new writer or a new artist, and you're like, oh, the artist, I'm not digging the art for this now, or the writer takes it a different direction. So it's like, this timeline is a bit ambitious. That's looking at 5 campaigns, in what, a year and a half or something, right? So that's quite a bit. Yeah. I'm not, this isn't set in stone, but that's my goal. Set your goals high.
Yeah. And you're so close. You're only 30% away from hitting goal. And once you hit that goal, it'll probably carry a little ways after that. And once you get the first one in the bag, you can figure out what worked and what didn't work, and and go on from there. But
correct.
You definitely have to have a bigger presence on IG and on Twitter. Yeah.
Yeah,
sure.
I'm thinking, there's so much comic sales on IG too that are doing well, and I'm thinking of like getting some, like maybe hiring a consultant to help with the promotion on IG and just the promotion overall on social media, because I think I could be doing gangbusters on both comic sales and publicizing Amazing Ice Comics, getting the reach bigger.
Yeah, it's a little tough when you're kind of like in the home stretch,
Oh yeah.
If you're gonna get somebody to help out, you kind of need to do that from the get go.
Oh yeah, I'm not looking to do it through before this campaign, but I'm thinking, going forward, probably doing the VT comic sales live, trying to expand that to Instagram maybe as well, maybe even YouTube. I'm not sure. And then learning from that and being able to take that and promote the next crowdfund through my knowledge from that.
Yeah.
So
I don't think you're allowed to do sales on YouTube though.
Oh, I see people doing sales on YouTube.
Really? I haven't
Or
seen it.
at least auctions. Yeah, I've seen yeah, I've seen a lot of sales.
Oh.
Actually, yeah. But yeah, man, I'm excited. I'm happy with where we're at. And it's interesting to see how the live sales people, like how it flows over here. I thought, I was like, is it going to flow? Is it not going to flow? How's that going to go? And it's been okay. And I really think, like you said, towards the last week when they get those notifications, they'll be like, okay, I think it looks good. And they know my track record of shipping and fulfilling and all that. So
yeah, you just got to push it heavy in like your last couple of sales. Be like,
yeah,
hey,
I will.
Next Monday, you lose your chance to get a key issue of 4 different characters.
Yeah. Well, there's going to be over a dozen first appearances in 4 different universes. Yeah, we're gonna look at all these characters, man. I mean, let's go through the characters really quick. Joan of Arc, of course. There's the undead. Okay, so that's not really a character, but with Joan of Arc is the Rage of God, of course, her executioner in real life. We have Nightcry. We have Creed and Iron from Void Reaper, along with a few. Well, one other main character will make an appearance. The main villain will make an appearance in it, but we don't show him here. That's kind of a surprise. And in Wine, we have several characters. Grove, who is the space wizard, of course. Kyra, who is she's the Yield Wineport's technology and security expert, and she was found wounded in an ancient space vessel and rescued by Grove, and she's kind of connected to the space station, and her hair lights up, and she's got a third eye, so that's always fun.
And she wants to remain blue, so get that story color.
That's right. Blue is hot, I mean. And then we have Spring, and she is she's defense systems expert, very close to nature, of course. And each of these characters kind of has a backstory and like their own arch enemy as well that would be introduced in the book if it has a continuing series or graphic novel eventually. So it's kind of Star Trek-esque, where it's episodic space adventure, but there's an overall story as well. Jan Van Spike, who is the wine expert and captain, and she has this taste bin where she could Grove, the space wizard, has actually developed something where he could take the space surrounding the space station, turn it into a liquid format. She could taste it, and she can tell things that's happening in space, like if there's a nebula nearby, or if an enemy ship has a weakness in their hull, or if there's if a cloaked ship is in the area, things like that. So she has that special palette. Musashi, he's he's a master chef and a master warrior, so he does Iron Chef and Samurai Iron as well, right? And then we have a few other characters in Wine as well that I didn't put up here quite yet. So yeah, man, we're gonna have over a dozen first appearances in this book, and if for any reason one of these ideas takes off, it's a 1 in 1,000 shot or whatever, but if one of them takes off, man, it's going to be such a limited print run that it's worth. I will say it's worth this right here, the Speculator Retailer 80/20 pack. So for $85 plus 15 shipping, you get 20 books, 20 copies, including 2 a number 00. So
yeah, it's you got a lot of stuff going on, and you got a lot of options.
I probably just put too many options, but you know, I wanted to have fun. I want to have fun with it and try to, you know, it's test and go. So this first campaign, I want to throw a lot out there, see what hits, see what doesn't, and then so for next one, we can focus a little bit more maybe, and you know, tighten it up.
You got issue 1, then you got another one that's issue 1 both covers. Then you have another one where you get the 1 in 100 00 pack.
Yeah.
You know, plus your covers, and then there's the special Bazinga tier, and there's the 00 pack, and
yeah, I thought I'd have fun with the Bazinga stuff with my dad because it's my first campaign, and like I wanted to kind of transition some of the customers over to this platform, and you know, going forward, we won't have probably any of that type of stuff. You know, it's just, you know, this was just for my first campaign and to have fun with it too.
Yeah, you gotta go with what works, and the rest of the stuff you just, you know, drop to the side. You know, you figure it out as you go.
Yeah.
And if people ask for stuff, you know, if they DM you during a campaign, well, you know, I was really looking to get this, and this, but you got them spread out over all these tiers. I don't want to have to buy all these tiers. And then you're like, give me 5 minutes, and you go in and you make a tier just for that.
Yeah.
By popular demand, and you put it like up towards the top somewhere, and you're like, okay, it's in there. Just scroll 3 down and hit it. And they do, and the next thing you know, they're telling a friend, goes, this dude just made a custom tier for me on his campaign.
Yeah, I'm totally down. I'm totally down for that. In fact, you know what, William? I'm gonna send you. You can send them this link for. You can send them this link. I'm gonna send it to you in private chat, but you can post that if you want. That is the secret perk link. So with that, you get basically the Amazingizer pack, but without. Actually, I did add in the prints. So it's basically the Amazingizer pack for $27 instead of $40. So if anybody's watching and not too sure, that's a great deal as well. And with that one, I would add on the Pops VT. The add-on of the Pops VT right here, the poem on a blank cover for $12. That's a deal. I would add that on for sure. That's just really, really cool. It's you're gonna get. He wrote 40 different poems, man. He wrote 40 different poems, so you can get one of one. You know, it's gonna be special.
Yeah, we have a friend up that's she's got a poetry book, and she's doing a haiku book with art too. You know.
Yeah, I've seen her a little bit. I was interested in checking that out a little bit. Yeah, I wanted to check that out because it looked a lot of fun. I think there's a lot of potential kind of in that, that realm of poetry and creativeness, haikus or whatever, and artwork. And it's not so much like a comic book format, but if you can add on to it, it's obviously a prose. But if you, I think it's really cool on a sketch cover. Maybe I like different things on a sketch cover. Like I have Carrie Fisher's autograph, huge, on a Star Wars sketch cover, and it's gorgeous, man. It's just her signature, but it's like it's probably the best cover I have because Carrie Fisher, right?
Not leaving the collection.
Yeah. I did put it up once, but it was a pretty price, pretty penny. But that was when she was still alive.
Yeah, nobody wanted to dig in for that.
Yeah, but it's gorgeous, man. So I think there's a lot of different. We try to push the boundaries, come up with different ideas, and some hit, some don't. But yeah, I wanted to check out her stuff. What's her name again?
Dory.
Dory, that's right. Dory something, yeah. Yeah, some of her stuff looked very interesting.
Yeah, I'll tag you in one of her posts so you can.
Yeah. Yeah, right there's one of my pops. That was the first The first poem we came up with, incantational wine interlacing spells, stars all unhinged with pulsating dark nebula dust, the stuff that runic dreams are made of.
Oh,
So,
nice.
yeah,
we
that's the first one.
we got the regular Indiegogo link up there, of course, and the secret perk link is at the bottom of the chat. Everybody, go check it out. And I'm back. Amazing Eyes #1.
Let's do it. Let's hit 1,000 tonight.
You know, get it.
There it is.
Get it going.
My camera's not the best, but yeah.
Neither is mine.
Yeah.
You know, I look, whiter than Casper, but it is what it is.
Yeah, my hair's almost catching up with that.
Yeah, that's why I'm wearing a hat. So, Eric, as always, it's great to talk to you, brother. All the best of luck on this. I look forward to this funding and hearing all the noise you make on the other end of the interwebs. Once it funds, I'll be able to hear you screaming from Northern Cali.
That's right, William. A pleasure, man. Much love, dude. Thank you so much for having me, man.
Yeah.
And
everybody, check this out and keep sharing it out to all your social medias to get more eyes on the project. And don't forget to hit up that secret perk link in the chat for all kinds of bonuses at a special price.
Yes, thank you so much, brother. Appreciate it.
Okay.
Much love.
Thanks, man.
I'll do it for my pops. Bazinga.
Bazinga.